welcome to IT Chronicles 10 and Tech. I'm Carlos Casanova. I'm here with my partner, Kathleen Wilson.
Hello.
Hey, Kathleen. And we have Kim Del Fiero with us today from Aisera, I believe.
Hi, yes, that's right.
Welcome, Kim.
Thank you.
My understanding with Aisera, you're into the AI integrations. It's got the company name actually kind of spells it all out. So if you could tell us a little about that.
Aisera stands for AI Service Management. Okay. And what we do, what we're geared to do, is to improve the end user experience end-to-end, internally and externally. So our mission is to provide exceptional AI service experience.
Excellent. Okay. So, I mean, obviously AI, it's a little topic that's been kind of bubbling around. But my understanding, I guess it's really from, obviously, Freshworks, it's an integration play that you're really working with. So tell us a little bit about, a lot of these organizations, especially in the small, medium size, they don't have the capacity. They don't, have this, 500-person IT shop and whatnot. And it's a lot of resources for them to kind of do these integrations. So is it a capability that you're providing, Freshworks customers to extend their reach?
That's right. So as a first-time partner here, it's the first time I've been to this conference. It's very fabulous and exciting. But yes, we integrate with Freshworks, the Fresh Desk, as well as Fresh Service. And the idea is to help the IT folks as well as customer service to enable them with automation, self-service. So the idea with AI is you apply it when inquiries come in, requests, tasks and actions, those types of things. We'd like to automate that before it hits these service agents. And so what happens is you start decreasing the volumes, the call volumes as well as the ticket volumes, because they're now autonomously resolved. And so what the benefit is for the service agents to then just work on the really complex things that actually require more thought, more personalization, and just, it's complex, so it needs human intervention.
Yeah. So it's things that are less predictable.
That's
right.
right.
So a lot of the things that, I would see applying AI to would be service requests, like people who are asking for certain things that are very repeatable, predictable,
That's right.
and you're just entering in variables, and then you can use the automation and the AI bots and everything else to execute this stuff.
Absolutely. So Aisera provides this unsupervised learning. So it's NLU, NLP, and with conversational AI, we're able to go through the omnichannel, both with the internal agents as well as the external agents, and provide this conversational platform so that tickets, whether they're created or deflected prior to being created, are resolved, or if they continue to go through the workflow process, then an agent is now getting assistance from Aisera.
Yeah, and the nice thing too is like if they do use the term escalate, I find it's a very negative thing. You want to escalate to an agent, but the fact is you can shorten that span because you're not asking the same questions, so you're actually bringing the data across.
That's right.
The experience that the customer has had with the AI, that's coming in, the service desk agent or the agent has this information, and they can resolve issues quickly, right? Because there's nothing is like repeating yourself.
Right, and I think one of the words you just used, we spoke to Rohit earlier, product manager, right? I think it was product manager, product owner? Product manager. And he's, it's all about the omni-channel, right? And that's the key, he was talking about, and obviously you're enabling that capability. I don't want to have a different experience. If I started here and I ended there, well, my second step is different than the first. I've already provided that information. I don't want to have to repeat it. I don't want to have to start all over again. So I think that's really important for the consumption of that service or that product to not have to do that, regardless of which vehicle I went down.
Exactly, and I think that's where AI comes in. With Aisera, you're able to go through the omnichannel both externally with your consumer-facing users as well as internally, and both sides of the house actually get the same experience and the same information, so everyone's on the same page with the details of the issues that are being raised.
And that's the thing is, like, I recently took a chatbot programming course.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so and it's quite difficult to do this. I come from a software development background, so for me it was kind of easy. But I can see for a lot of organizations that are smaller, they need assistance at that because it's actual real art form to be able to capture those trigger words that will execute the actions with your AI bots. And it's things like refund or what's your exchange policy. So you have to, it's actually not so technical as the ability to actually write really good nets. It's like casting a very large net to capture those things.
Because the last thing you want to do is send me, because, I think we've all experienced it, where it's like, do you want to talk about this? No. Do you want to talk about this? No. And now you're frustrating me again. And
I like the dots that keep going, and you're thinking they're typing something really long and comes back, did this solve your problem? I'm like, no. But the dots keep going, you're like, wow, they're probably pulling back. And the other things that are really challenging out there and where you need a lot of assistance with is, I hate the web searches. So, they're just throwing web articles at me. It's like, no. So the idea is that, a lot of support organizations, their agents have a lot of this technology and the AI available to them. And it's like, you have to be able to quickly turn that around and give it to customers as well. That's right. So seeing in the market, like, take me 6 months out and let me think about what you see, your organization building out and what the partnership with Freshworks would look like. What do you think is going to happen in the next 6 months?
Right, I think in the next 6 months, businesses are really looking to automate. We do hear this a lot, AI, machine learning, and so forth. And the idea is to really bring down the volumes of the inquiries that are coming in, whether they're calls, whether they're web chats, whether it's email, and so forth. And so partnering with Freshworks, it's to help the agents really focus, right, on the things that really, really matter and to deflect the repetitive, like you mentioned, the repetitive requests that can be answered. They're simple tasks and simple requests that can be resolved with self-service. What I do see is more and more there will be out-of-the-box AI solutions available where now small to medium-sized businesses can actually leverage getting the value of AI on day one. Right. These types of things, because with the knowledge sources that are external third party as well as internal from the companies that have their collected historical ticketing data as well as their knowledge base articles, those things combined will enable businesses to be able to reap the benefits of AI pretty instantaneously.
Yeah, because it is a big market. And as you said, a lot of small, medium businesses, it's a lot of work to do it. And if you can actually help people with like a leg up and get them into the industry a bit more, and they can see the value very quickly, right? It explodes. Yeah.
Well, and I think that, we do this in a lot of areas where, people, they want the full solution. And it's like, well, no, it's like, like you were saying, if it addresses 10%, 20%, whatever that is, and that reduces the call volumes, that reduces, the queues, all that, the wait times, all that stuff by 15, 20%. If you extrapolate that out to your fully loaded costs and say, okay, now, what weren't we doing? Because there's no company that is doing everything that they wanted to do. Those people now can either be providing better service, and elevating their skills, so they're going to be happier, or, we can process that much more. We're growing our business. Now we can go back to those call volumes, but they're legitimate. They're not, mundane tasks that should be able to get checked off.
Exactly, and AI improves over time. So if you start with 15 to 25% deflections, it will increase over time because AI self-learns. And so with every problem that comes in and gets resolved, now it's taking that and applying them to future requests and inquiries that come in.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Kim, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I know this is a great space. First time to the conference. Hope it's going to be beneficial to yourself and your organization. And hopefully next year we'll see where it's at. And we're not talking about 6 months out. We're talking about another 2 years out. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kim.
Appreciate it.